Good morning, everyone. How are you doing, my go-getters? I'm so glad that you are here with me today. So as you come in, definitely let me know you're here. Tell me who you are, and where you're tuning in. This actually streams to 4 different platforms, so tell me which platform you are on. I would be grateful if you did. So today, I really wanted to come in here and talk to you about how to really fine tune your message to reach people during this time. So I think that's one of the biggest concerns that most people have when they first start into a situation like this, especially if you're trying to get there. I'm actually going to give you a back scenes, that's what I'm looking at over here, a back scenes look at a tool that I use to really fine tune my messages and also create and plan content going forward. Now, you can use this in good times, and I have many times, but you can also use it to respond very quickly in a situation like this. It's really meant to help you spin up about 6 months worth of content in about 2 hours. And so I want to just give this to you as a free tool, and I'm going to give you a back scenes look at it so you can then go download it if you want to. I definitely have a link for you today. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the comments. And on LinkedIn, guys, I'm going to have to put it on towards the end. I'll come over there in a minute because this, for whatever reason, does not send you guys what I see for everyone else. So I'm sending that now to everyone else, and then I will get over to LinkedIn and send it to you too. Anyway, so what I wanted to do is start to talk to you a little bit about how this all works. So I think that I want to go with a story to start this. So have you ever been in a situation where you started talking to somebody and they were thinking about what they were going to say before you were done talking? So you were talking and you could see their wheels spinning in their head. This is when we could still be in the same room with each other. And now I'm sure it happens with your family too, if you're stuck in a family situation. And you could see that the people were thinking about the next thing that they were going to have to say. They weren't really listening to you. Well, I think that happens a lot too in these situations. It's what we call tone deaf. And I'm a musician. So for me, tone deaf is something. I'm going to actually pull this up a bit because it probably will help the sound. Anyway, so tone deaf is what you do not want to be during times like this. So I don't know who it was. I'd have to go back and look in my Twitter feed, but I saved a post by someone who had taken a screenshot. It might have been in LinkedIn of her inbox the first couple of days after this particular thing was going on. And it showed like all the people who had responded, like, we're responding, thoughts and prayers, all of that. And then some were in there that said, hey, this was the one that really caught my eye as tone deaf. I am a computer company and I help you to fight out viruses in your computer. So now I'm going to say, hey, in these times when it's very dangerous, there's a dangerous virus out there, I'm going to help you protect your computer. Okay, this is a biological virus, last time I checked. So really, I don't know how that's going to help my computer. Tone deaf. Get me? So how could this computer company, who does have a virus product, and you could use that as a hook, but that is a tone deaf way to do that. So how do you avoid being tone deaf like that by accident or on purpose? Let me tell you another story. This is when I was a tone deaf once. So I've been blogging since 2005. I think I've shared that with you in some past episodes here. And in that time that I was blogging, there was a code between the bloggers that if you shared something on social media, that you would give credit to the person that you heard it from. So you'd say hat tip, H/T, to whoever that person was where you heard the information. So it was something that was like in the culture. It was really important to the culture. People got mad if you didn't do it. So I was talking to a friend and she told me about a specific thing, a company or an organization that there had been something going on with that. And there was a communications issue. And so I actually shared that on, I don't remember if it was Facebook or Twitter at the time, but I shared it on one of those. And I said, hat tip to this person. Well, she got tagged on that. She looked at it and she immediately came through the back channel to me and said, take that down. I don't want people to know that I shared that information with you. Now, she wasn't clear with me when she shared that information. And it was public information. It was a public article. So it wasn't like anything, nefarious, like insider trading or anything. But she wasn't part of the blogging culture. And so for her, that hat tip idea was just abhorrent. She just wanted to be behind the scenes. And that's really, she's a public relations professional. And I come from that background too. So I understood immediately where she was coming from, but I had to like disassociate myself from that. So it also depends on the culture of the people that you're talking to, if you're going to sound tone deaf to them or not. Hold on just a second. I've got to put a display name in here. I want to share something with you here in just a minute. It's a tool that I use myself for our for my Communities That Convert podcast episode. So I do have a podcast. It's called Communities That Convert, and that particular that it's a slog. You have to have something out every single week. You have to know what you're going to do next. We have to put it together. I do it with a co-host, awesome co-host, Madeline Sklar, and we need to be prepared. And so I created this tool to keep us on track. And I call it the 6-month planner because it helps you to create 6 months of content in just 2 hours. It's a very quick tool, but you do have to understand what's behind it in order to make it really work for you. So I'm going to share my screen here in just a second, as soon as I get myself in here. Hold on a second. I'm going to share this screen if I can do it. All right, let me get there. Share screen. I also need to make sure I turn off my the volume over here so you don't get me twice. So let me turn off the mic real quick on this side. Sorry about that, guys. This takes me a second to put it together. Audio, because I can hear myself through there right now. So I want to make sure you don't have that. Let me get the mic defaulted. Let's make sure we're not using it at all. And I'll also turn off the volume on this lovely computer so you don't get that either. All right, there we go. Awesome. I think we're good now. So I can share this without causing a huge, massive feedback. So I want to show you what I use, and I want to teach you how to use it. And then if you want to download it, it's a free tool that I have. I'm offering it as part of my Smart Social Secrets course. And so it's part of the course, but I want to go ahead and offer it to you today for free. Let me just see if I can screen share there. Yes, I can. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go to the back end of this so you can see what it looks like. And then I'm going to add this into our deal. So hopefully you see that now. Tell me if you see it. If you don't see it, I'm sorry, but there it is. So I can actually make this the whole screen so you can really see it. So anyway, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about describing who you help. And that's really important right now because, again, the culture of who you help right now is critical. It's so critical that you have that culture right now. And so that you understand where they're coming from, that you understand where they're at, their fears, their pain points, all of that right now before you reach out to them. So if you have like a Facebook page, or you are a social media or have a small business, or you do social media for a business, this is really, really important right now that you understand in depth who those people are that are looking to you for advice or help. One of the sides of the business that we have is travel and tourism. And what do you talk to people about in travel and tourism right now when obviously you can't tell them to travel or tour? So we talk a lot about, you can go from the lighthearted all the way from, escapism, where people really right now, they'd love to have things to look at and do. So there's an escapism thing you could do where you could talk about backyard vacations. Hey, set up the tent in the backyard with the kids. How fun would that be right now? Something like that. Or you could talk about planning your next vacation. Surprisingly, the pins on Pinterest for travel and tourism are going crazy because people are sitting at home thinking about, when this lifts, where do I want to go? People do want to travel again at some point, but they obviously can't right now. So they may be planning for that or thinking about that visioning it or having a vision board. So how can you facilitate that and help them and give them ideas? Maybe you should just clean up your, if you're a person who's in travel and tourism, clean up your pins or start a Pinterest account and start putting things in there. Have somebody that is in the attraction that you work for go around and show what it looks like after, behind the scenes, because there's still people like running these attractions. There has been those kinds of things. So I'm just saying, go out there and figure out exactly what your audience needs right now. Do they need escapism? Or on the other hand, do you need to become a huge community partner? If you're a destination, for example, like a CVB or something like that, where you are representing the entire city for their travel and tourism, well, how can you be of help? How can you talk about the restaurants that are open? Galveston's doing that, for example, really, really well. They have 2 links on the front page of galveston.com. And it is really about, one is about what restaurants are open, and the other one's about retail and what's open and available. So, and hours that they're running. So that could be a huge resource for your community. So you can be a community resource, you could be that. So I'm just talking about travel and tourism. It's one idea. Any profession that you're in, though, you can think about this. Like, what exactly can you bring to the table right now that will help people? And once you do, you can kind of test that with a few people. Make sure it's not something that would be, hey, do you guys want me to talk about XYZ? And your people will tell you that. Now, if you have nobody following you and you're thinking, hey, I'm trying to grow my following, and oh, hello, this thing suddenly just appeared. How are you going to do that? Well, that's even more interesting, because right now you can think of ways that you can be of help as well. And you can make yourself relevant very quickly that way. So it's not, an ulterior motive, because honestly, right now, you do want to help, I'm sure, just because you want to help. But if you get out there and help the people that you're going to serve eventually in your business, you will be a much more interesting person to them when that time comes. They're going to take your phone calls. They're going to know who you are. So those are the kinds of things I would recommend. Okay, so moving on. So know who you're going to help. That's number 1, right? And then number 2 is choose your main topic. And again, we just talked about that. Who are you helping? And now what is it? What is the thing that you're going to talk about? What is the relevant thing that you're going to talk about during this time to really help people in this time? So for example, I'm doing these videos. The reason I'm doing these videos is because I have a heart for my community. I want to help people. And all along, I've helped small businesses through my social media presence. So I've run Social Media Breakfast of Houston for 10 years, almost 11 now. And the reason I've run that is because I really wanted to work with other social media managers and people that are running small businesses to help them get their social media in order and to reach their audiences. I also help large to enterprise companies run their social media. My team does here at Zoetica Media. So this is for me a passion thing to help the small businesses, because the money I get comes from bigger companies generally. Now, Social Media Breakfast has been going on for 11 years. I am launching Smart Social Secrets soon, which is a course for this audience, the people that I just talked about, small business to medium-sized business. And hey, here we are in the middle of a crisis. I've been planning to launch this for some time. I've been working on it for a long time. And here we are. Am I going to launch it? Am I not going to launch it? There's a lot of questions that would come up in my mind. But what I really want to do is help people to get to that next level. So that's what I'm doing. I'm here helping you. And yes, I'm still going to launch. And maybe some of you will take me up on it. Who knows? But that's not really my purpose. I just want you to know what's going on. But when I do launch it, you're going to know my teaching style. You're going to know if it's for you or not for you. So this is actually helpful to have content like this out there for people so that they can kind of get a taste of who you are. Make sense? Great. All right, awesome. So choose your main topic, and you want to choose a topic that obviously doesn't make you sound tone deaf. Underneath that topic, that's what you're going to be sharing during this time. What you're going to want to do now is choose 3 to 5 subtopics. So for example, for me, I talk about how to build your online community with social media. And the 4 ways that I talk about that, here, I'm going to take this off for a second because we can come back to it in a minute. The 4 ways I talk about that is clarity. How do you get clarity on your message and really meet people where they are, know who your audience is and get clarity. And then number 2 is how do you connect with those people authentically so that they really get a sense of who you are and so that they trust, know, and like you. You can go the other way. Know, like, and trust is what people usually say. So that's the second part. How do you do that? And where do you find those people and how do you serve them? And then number three, what kinds of things do you create in order to be relevant? And that's what we're talking about today. So the last two were about those other two, clarity and connect. And now we're talking about how do you create that content? So you use this little tool that I just had. You have your subtopics picked. And once you have your subtopics picked, we have a really cool calendar you can put them into. And I'm going to pull this back up so you can see. You're going to brainstorm in each of those categories. So if I had connect, what would I what 3 or 4 things could I write about around connect? Let's see. How to be authentic with your audience, which I did. That was my last video. The number 2 thing that I might talk about on connect is how to find your audience, like where to find them, exactly what to do. We do talk about that in Smart Social Secrets. Number 3, how to reach them once you find them. So there's the whole thing like join a group. Then what do I do? Then what do I do? I was actually on a call yesterday all day and somebody started asking those questions, like, well, okay, so if I'm in this, how do I advertise to a group? And they're like, oh, people need to know you can't advertise to a group. So there's a lot of things that need to go into connect. So I can actually brainstorm a bunch of the problems and misconceptions and then do content around each of those areas. So I could honestly do up to 5 or 6 of those. So you'll see that here. I'm going to share it. So brainstorm 5 headline ideas for each subtopic. And then you overwrite with your subtopic. So this is actually a tool that I have for you. And then you'll see along the bottom, it says instructions, idea bank, month 1. I don't know if you can see after that, but what we're going to do right now is I'm going to click over to the idea bank. So now that you have 5 topics for each, or 5 headlines for each topic or subtopic in this case, we're going to go over to the idea bank. If this will switch, yes, it will. And then you can pick your category. So my categories are in here: clarity, connect, create, calibrate. I actually have a video that comes with this. I send you what is a little mini course. So I put the link in the comments. I keep wanting to say show notes because I've got a podcast. So I put the link in the comments. And again, if you're on LinkedIn, I will put that there very shortly. So I put the link in the comments and you can just click on that and sign up to get this tool. And what it will do is it will send you what I call a mini course every day for the next 6 days, or I think I've spaced them out by 3 days. It will send you an email that explains each of these areas more in depth. Like it teaches you how to use this tool, including how to change these categories. So you are going to pick your category. So say I said connect. And then I wanted to say, okay, my topic is going to be how to find your audience. So I'm going to write that in here right now. Find your audience. And then I'm going to move on. So this is a real simple thing. It's just your ideas. And then you can resort this by category. So then you can see how many ideas you have in each category. So you can brainstorm here, or you can brainstorm over here on the instructions page. I have it in both places so that you can have it. So if you did it here, then you just transfer them over here and pick the categories and move on. Then we have our first month's calendar, and you can take your stuff, put it in this calendar and start to write your headlines, your topic post text, and it'll actually count your characters for you and a bunch of stuff. So I love this tool. It's what we use every day for communities that convert. I hope that you will find it super helpful too. But start with the right message. I mean, that's really the key in the end, guys, is that your message really counts here. You cannot be tone deaf at this time. You have to be able to bring it to the people in a way that they'll understand and that they'll like what you're doing and that it will be helpful to them. So I do not see a ton of questions here. I'm going to actually jump over to the LinkedIn stream real quick and see if I can find any there either. I want to make sure that I acknowledge you guys, and also I can bring you the link over there. So really, having something in the way, I think the biggest mistake that you can make right now is honestly being silent, totally silent. Because right here at this moment, you have a chance to be relevant, to be helpful in the conversation, to really be somebody that people trust and that you can bring something to the table. And it can be entertainment. I mean, all these stars and people that are getting online and um, uh, doing concerts and stuff. I mean, that's really needed too. People can't leave their houses. Like entertainment is important right now for people as well, I think. So I really feel like you can really bring a lot right now to the table. So by the way, I just put that thing in LinkedIn and Roy is here. Hey, Roy. He can see it good. So take this tool. I just am posting it right now on LinkedIn. I posted it everywhere else. I think all of the rest of you can see this at this moment. And if you can't, on Facebook, go to smartsocialsecrets.com to grab it really quick in the first video. But this right here is a tool that's going to help you to do this quickly. And right now, speed is really important. You want to shift. It's okay if you went dark for a couple of days. I think it's okay. It's you need to get your own family under control. But being dark on social media right now is probably the worst idea that you can have. This is the time to be there. Social media consumption is up 30%. That's huge, guys. 30% right now. So you want to be there. People are looking for other people to connect with that they can relate to. So that's pretty much all I have to say today, unless you guys have any questions or thoughts. But I wanted to share this tool with you. Get back out here. Tomorrow is a big day for us. I have Amber Naslin from LinkedIn coming to the show to talk about her role as community manager over at LinkedIn. She's kind of in charge of community for LinkedIn. So we're going to talk about how to build community with LinkedIn. So no matter what channel you are on watching, we are going to be talking about LinkedIn a little bit and how you can use LinkedIn during times like this. So I'm really excited about that. That'll be fun. And then I'm going to come back the day after that with one more episode that's part of my 4-part series. And that one is on calibration. Like, how do you shift and how do you pivot during these times? And how do you measure if something's working? So that's the other piece that we're going to talk about this week. And then next week, I will continue these live streams, probably not every day anymore. I'll probably switch to every other day so that we can kind of start getting into a rhythm. I'll figure out what that's going to be. I'm not sure yet if it's Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, or I don't know. Maybe we'll do Monday, Wednesday, and then Fun Friday. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So I'm going to be working with my little 6-month planner to figure that out here in the next couple of days. So anyway, thank you very much. And I hope you have an amazing day. If you watch this in replay, let me know you were here, especially if you stayed till the bitter end here. And if you have any questions, also let me know. Again, my DMs are open in every platform. I've been having great conversations with people. It's been really awesome. Thanks for taking the time out to send me messages. I really love that. So thanks, guys. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.